Hello, dear students. From your paper, Sociological Foundations of Education, today let us learn unit number 3, that is about the social processes. So let us say the brief outline what we are supposed to learn today. Meaning and concept of social processes, the form of the social processes, the kinds of social process or interaction, that is cooperation, competition, meaning of the cooperation and the types of cooperation, and their education application, concept competition, nature and characteristics, types of competition and the educational implication. As a human being, we are considered as a social animal in terms of the sociology, and we cannot exist alone. We cannot stay alone, in other words. So we need other people to live with us, to share, to communicate. So we can say that society, it is a wave of the social relationship that exists. So social processes, it's nothing but the fundamental ways in which we as a human being living in the society interact and establish certain form of the relationship. So that term social relationship, it refers to the relationship that exists among the people, and social relationship represent the functional aspects of the society. And that social relationship, it involves a reciprocal obligation, the mutual contact. It is not from the one aspects. It may be the reciprocal status, the reciprocal ends and means as between two or more people in the mutual contact. So it refers to a pattern of the interaction between or among the individuals living in the society. So such kinds or mode of interaction that we have in the society, it is called as the social process. So let us see the definition given by MacIver. Social process is the manner in which the relations of the members of a group, once brought together, acquire a distinctive character. A.W. Green, the social processes are merely the characteristic ways in which interaction occurs. So it makes clear that social processes is nothing but the way people interact among themselves living in the society together. Of the social processes, as we living in the society, we generally interact among ourselves, and there are thousands of socially defined relationships. Such kind of relationships are beyond the measurement, and that is why it is much fruitful or much acceptable when we classify it or deal it as a general types. So social relationship or social forms can be classified in the form of the interactions, the way we interact among ourselves, and this kind of the interaction or pattern of interaction we call it the social processes. And this kind of interaction or social processes include cooperation, competition, conflict, contravention, accommodation, assimilation, accumulation, isolation, differentiation, and the disintegration. Social interaction, then we can say that social interaction is the very foundation of society, the very essence or the life of the social life, the heart of the social life. So without interaction, living in a group or a society, it would be just mere presence of the individuals without any kind of the cooperation indeed. When persons or groups of persons do such work as work, play, talk together with common ends, or when they compete or quarrel with each other, that group life, properly speaking, or it exists indeed. We can say that something must be there among the group to say that it is existing. So interaction, it is the basic social process, and it is also true that when we say that life is stable, confined, and defined by traditional system, norms, and pattern based in one hand, on the other hand we can say that in society it is also true that life is very fast moving, dynamic, changing, and people are constantly on the move. They're either striving, competing, conflicting, cooperating maybe, or adjusting and challenging. It keeps on. So this accent or the element, whatever people do in the society on the move, it itself represents one form of the social interaction. Let us make it more clear with the definition given by Eldridge and Merrill that social interaction, it is the general process whereby two or more persons are in meaningful contact, as a result of which the behavior is modified, however slightly. Drawson and Getty's social interaction is a process whereby men interpret the minds of each other. So we can get to say that social interaction, we interchange our ideas, we try to communicate with someone living in the society, which can say that it is one form of the social interaction. So there are kinds of social interaction or the types of social interaction: cooperation, competition, conflict, accommodation, and assimilation. And in today's video, let us discuss related to cooperation and the competition. So what is cooperation then? When we say cooperation, we can say that when people come together, work together to achieve some common goal or to attain the common objective or the target. When we want to attain that common objective, people from different angles, from different dimension, they are supposed to come together, join hands together to achieve their common ends. So when people come together, we can say that it is cooperation. Merrill and Eldredge have defined in this way that cooperation, it is a form of social interaction wherein two or more persons work together to gain a common end. Fairchild, cooperation is the process by which the individuals or groups combine their effort in a more or less organized way for the attainment of the common objective. So it has been very clear that cooperation, it is the mutual working together, and that is for the attainment of a common people. So there are different types of the cooperation. Either we cooperate directly, indirect cooperation, primary cooperation, secondary and the tertiary. So under the direct cooperation, we can say that individuals, whoever involved, they do the identical function. It can be clear with the example like playing together, we worshipping together, tilling the field together, etc. That people do work in company with other members, and that is to make the function or to make the work successful. Performance of a common task with joint effort, okay, it can brings them the social satisfaction, which we can term it as the direct cooperation. In the form of the indirect cooperation, here we can say that people, they work individually for the attainment of a common end, and here people may do some unlike tasks towards a similar end, and this is based on the principle of division of labor and the specialization. We can make it more clear with this example that farmers, spinners, weavers, dyers, tailors, they are uh, different people engaging in different activities, but we can see that their ends remains the same. And what is the end? It is that of the producing clothes. And in the same way, the modern technological age requires specialization of the skills and functions. So it is depending upon the cooperation only. Now, in case of primary cooperation, here it is found in the primary groups, as such as in family, neighborhood, friends group, children's play group, and so on. Since the group is small, we can say that there is an identity of the ends, and every member they works for the betterment of all. Um, Means and goals become one for cooperation itself is a highly prized value in the primary cooperation. But on the other hand, in the secondary cooperation, it is the characteristic feature of the modern civilized society, and we can say that it is found mainly in the secondary groups. So that is why it is highly formalized and specialized in the way that each individual perform their tasks and thus help others to perform their tasks, but it is to separately enjoy the fruit of the cooperation. So like this kind of cooperation, it may be witnessed in political field, economic, religious, commercial, educational, as well as in some other groups. Another form of competition cooperation is the tertiary cooperation, which may be found between the bigger groups. It may be between two or more political parties, example castes, tribes, religious groups, and so on. So it is also often called the communication. The two groups may cooperate and work together for the antagonistic goals, or in other way, it also may exist that two political parties may work together in an attempt to defeat a third party. So, what is the educational implications of cooperation then? We can say, but we know that cooperation it is possible only when the like-minded people come together, when there will be some mutual helpfulness and selfless attitude. And it is also true that cooperation is an universal phenomenon, and in the society it is difficult to survive without being cooperated. So people learn their first lesson in cooperation as members of the family, and most of the individual and collective goals cannot be achieved without the cooperation, because the group work, group participation, it is not possible without being cooperative. And all the progress in various fields attributed to the cooperative spirit of the people, say for example the progress of science and technology, and all of the developments are the results of human cooperation. According to Young and Mack, cooperation requires first of all a motivation to achieve a goal. So, in case of the classroom teaching or in the role of the teacher, we can say that it is the role of the teacher to always motivate the students to come up to achieve something, to reach the goal, and to show the students the benefit of being cooperative. Secondly, people must have the knowledge of its benefit. Like, what will I gain if I do participate in this group, if I do the work in a group, if I have a cooperation with my fellow mates. So for this, education is needed, and it is not an inborn tendency, so we must learn it. Thirdly, people must have a favorable attitude towards it. Like, I should have that attitude to involve in the group, to have that favorable love or belongingness to the group. If I have the favorable, if I develop the favorable attitude, I can say that yes, I am going to benefit, or I will see the good things, the good points, the positivity from the cooperative perspective. And lastly, to make the cooperative plan work, they need to equip themselves with the necessary skills, whatever is required. So therefore, it is the role of education to inculcate the spirit of cooperation among the children from the very beginning of the school life, be it in the classroom, be it outside the classroom, be it at home, be it in the society, be it anywhere, that the role of cooperation, it is needed and it is beneficial. It must be inquisited in the mind of the students. Competition. It is the most fundamental form of social struggle, and it is a natural result of the universal struggle for the existence. We must compete to achieve something and to place our value. So it is based on the fact that all people can never satisfy all their desires. So competition takes place whenever there is an insufficient supply of things that human beings commonly desire. So we can say in this way that whenever and wherever commodities which people want are available in a limited supply, there is a competition. So Burke and Burgess have defined a competition. It is an interaction without social contact. Horton and Hunt have defined that competition is the struggle for possession of reward which are limited in supply, goods, status, power, love, and anything. So what are the nature and characteristics of competition? Scarcity as a condition of the competition. Whenever there are commonly desired goods and services are scarce, there is a competition. Competition and affluence is another characteristics of competition, that in a time of full employment, competition may take place for the status of the top class. There is competition not only for food, shelter and other basic needs, but also for luxuries, maybe power, name, fame, social position, maids, and many more. Competition, it is continuous. It will be successful, we may achieve something, and then we need to strive for something next. So it is continuous. Competition is universal, it is present in every society. Competition is dynamic, it stimulates achievement and contributes to social change. It lifts the level of aspiration from lower level to a higher level. Competition, it is also itself a cause of the social sense, which is really very necessary. Competition, it may be personal or impersonal. It may be constructive or destructive. Competition may be healthy or unhealthy, in the sense if one of the two or more competitors tries to win only at the expenses of the others, we can say that it is destructive. But constructive competition is mutually stimulating and helpful. Competition is always governed by norms. And another characteristics, we can say that competition may be unconscious. There are different types of competition: social, economic, political competition, and the cultural competition. Bernard had mentioned three broad types of the competition: social, economic, and the political competition. Social competition, here people always compete to get into the higher status on the position. So competition of this kind is mostly observed in the open societies. Coming down to the economic competition, the most important and at the same time the most vigorous form of competition is the economic competition. So we can witness it in the process of production, distribution, and consumption of the goods. Economic competition can also be observed with the individual as well as the political competition. We can say that in the modern world, competition for political power is always present, and political parties are always engaged in competition to secure the power. Cultural competition, some sociologists have also spoken of this competition. It may take place between two or more cultures. Competition always plays a significant role in our present social life as well as in the educational field. We can say that competition is a source of motivation for the individuals. So it is one way through which students can show their ability and express their talent. It increases the students' efficiency and in their expertise as well. So a competition provides the mechanism by which well qualified and competent students can be selected to perform the specific functions among the groups. Should encourage students to participate in a healthy competition so that they can take competition as opportunity for development of strong aspiration, confidence, and spirit of adventure, etc. Thank you.